VoiceAmerica.com.
Welcome to Crime Prevention 101 with host Susan Bartlestone. We're so happy you've joined us this weekend. Over the next hour, you'll learn the tips, tricks, and vital information that'll help you keep yourself confident and safe. Now, here's the host of Crime Prevention 101, Susan Bartlestone.
And hello out there, and welcome. This is indeed Crime Prevention 101, and I am indeed Susan Bartlestone. And oh my God, I have got so much good stuff for you all today, I can hardly stand it. This show is just blowing me away. But first of all, I want to thank everyone who's been listening to the shows over the past few weeks and months. Thank you all for the very, very positive feedback that I've gotten about the show. It's just so gratifying to me, you know, that I'm able to discuss serious subjects and put a light touch in there when it's appropriate and really get the message across that you can do something to prevent becoming a victim. Now, my theme today is I got mail. You asked me questions about past shows, and this is something I encourage people to do. Send me your comments. Send me your questions. Send me the topics that you'd like me to cover in the future, because I want to make this show your show and focus on your concerns. And you did. So I thought today I'm going to answer the questions that I got asked. And oh, my God, I got asked about renter's insurance. I got asked about family protection policies and ID theft insurance. And I even found something called dishonest employee insurance that I'm going to touch on. You asked me about inexpensive home security products and devices. Somebody asked me how to stay safe when walking alone at night, and I've got tips for you about using cell phones, and especially camera cell phones in the fight against crime, and how to use pepper spray. Both are extremely good options in this scenario. I got some questions on inside and outside lights as a break-in deterrent and how to let people into your home safely. And I'm going to try and squeeze everything into this show. And I'm also you also asked for more information about me. You know, how I came to be doing crime prevention and self-defense work, and how I came to be doing this show. So I'm going to tell you all about it. But first, from time to time, I invite one of my partners in crime to hang out with me during the show and get to play a little bit with me on the show. And I've got somebody here today I want to introduce you to. Please welcome Rob Siglim-Paglia, an attorney, friend of mine. Say hi, Rob.
Hey, Susan. How you doing? Hi, everybody.
I am good, and welcome. Rob is an attorney, and he knows lots about renters insurance and stuff like that, and he is going to be helping me out today with this show. So
it's my pleasure.
Let's start out, Rob. You know what I want to talk about first? I got a lot of questions about who am I, when did I start studying martial arts, how I came to do this show. So I'm going to talk a little bit about my story, and I've mentioned a few things in the past shows from time to time about myself, but I'm going to recap it for those of you that might have missed those earlier shows. When I was just out of my teens, Rob, you know this story. When I was just out of my teens, I had a bad breakup with a guy, and I'm talking about physical bruises, stalking, and threats. And I wasn't badly hurt. I was more shook up. But I knew at the time that, and I just knew this somewhere deep down inside me, if I had known what to do to defend myself, that I could have stopped this guy. And you know what? 2 years later, I saw this guy's picture in the paper. He had been arrested for taking part in a rape attack on a 14 and a 15-year-old girl with a friend of his that I knew that he had brought to my home. And that could have been me. So from that time on, I had it in my mind I was going to take martial arts, and I did. And about 5 years, after 5 years of martial arts training, I actually was in a situation where I had to defend myself. And I am going to talk about that shortly what happened. But at the time, I just felt that I hadn't been prepared enough by martial arts to face a real street fight. So I switched to self-defense training, which offered me a far more realistic attack experience as part of that training. And I will talk a little bit about self-defense. I'm going to be covering a lot about that in shows to come, and kind of courses that are available to you, things that you can look for if you're thinking about taking martial arts or self-defense courses. Now, how did I start teaching, you might ask? Okay, it just happened kind of accidentally. Friends of mine who were running a school that I was training in had got a call from a local college. I'm located in New York City, and this was a college nearby. And one thing led to another, and they just called me in and they said, "You're teaching. We can't do it. You're doing it." They sat me down. We worked out a curriculum, and that's the way it started.
Excellent.
Excellent. And now I've been teaching for almost it's almost a life sentence right now. It's been a long, long time.
That's excellent. So, I mean, I heard about the story that you're going to get into a little later on about how you got into martial arts and everything. But why don't you tell me a little bit about your credentials? What?
Sure.
How have you gone since that time?
You want what brought me to this point? Absolutely. Okay. First of all, I am a certified crime prevention specialist, and I was certified by the International Society of Crime Prevention Practitioners, which has chapters all over the world. It's the cream of the crop in terms of training people to do crime prevention work. I am also a certified pepper spray instructor, and let me tell you, I earned that certification because as part of it, I actually had to be sprayed full out with pepper spray. So I knew exactly what it felt like and could teach people to do it. I have over 18 years now, I guess, I lost count, of combined training in various forms of self-defense and martial arts. I have written more than 100 articles on crime prevention. And, Rob, and you know that I have spoken of this many times, I've got a book coming out shortly based on my teaching methods that I'm extremely excited about. It's called Think Fast and Prevent a Violent Crime, How to Respond to Danger in 20 Seconds. And this it talks about the part of the teaching that I do that deals with avoiding being selected as a target and preventing a crime from happening.
Excellent.
Because of all the training that I've had, Rob, the most important and the most persuasive training I had that qualifies me to do what I do is that in my career, I've had 6 dangerous criminal encounters. Sorry? I didn't hear you, Rob.
Wow, that's
okay.
Go, keep going. Sorry.
All right. I've had 6 dangerous criminal encounters, and I'm talking about 2 times I've been surrounded by groups of guys. One time I had a knife pulled out on me in a New York City subway. I mean, stuff like that. And 5 times I prevented that crime from happening or diffused the situation and got away without violence. I only had to fight 1 time. And that was because I got jumped by a guy who was crouched down in between 2 parked cars. And as I came by, I wasn't paying attention. From a crime prevention standpoint, I should have my wrist slapped. But I wasn't paying attention, and sure enough, he just caught me by surprise. But yes, at that point, I did prevent the rape from happening. I fought him off.
Wow. Well, you said you were surrounded by a group of guys, too? What happened there? Yes,
the 5 incidents that I prevented, and to me, which is what I'm really proud of, one of those incidents I'll tell you about, I had finished I ran a consulting business, teaching these skills to various corporations, like American Express, things like that. And I would work with the night staffs of companies that were in difficult geographic areas and things like that. And I was finishing up one of those jobs. It was about 11-something at night. I was in a kind of an isolated area, and I was on my way to where my car was. I was walking down the street and had kind of planned it so that I'd be walking with a group of employees that were going down that street, but it didn't work out like that. The training session took too much time. And so I'm walking down the street by myself, and I see this car with 4 guys in it, and they appeared to be drunk, and they were making remarks to me, and they were soliciting me, because, I mean, obviously I was in a business suit, so I must be a prostitute, right? So they're soliciting me, and I decided, I knew that there was a police station several blocks down the other way, but I was late. I was tired. I just didn't want to go out of my way, and maybe they would have someone to walk with me. I don't know. So what I decided was I would walk very slow. I would let the car get in front of me, very far, and then I would just duck in to the parking lot, which is what I did. And at that point, it worked very well. And I go to my car, and again, I'm alone in the parking lot. There's no attendant or anything. This was a parking lot. And all of a sudden, I see their car backing up down the street, and they backed into the parking lot, and they parked perpendicular to my car, and they were now blocking my car. And I'm just standing there, and I'm looking at these guys. And I was standing there in what's called the non-victim posture, which is a very specific way that you let somebody know you're not a good target. That's what they're looking for. They're looking for someone who's scared and pliable and easily intimidated in this posture and this demeanor. And I was making eye contact. The driver was right there close to me. And I'm thinking, I'm coming up with a plan. And my plan was that the minute that I saw the driver open the car door and put his foot down on the ground, can you guess, Rob? I was going to rush forward. I was going to slam the door on his knee. I was going to jam my briefcase into his throat, which is a very vulnerable target. And if the other driver, and this was a 2-door car, so I didn't have to worry about the people in the back seat, and if the other driver came around, I was going to be ready for him, and I was going to run like hell. Now, I got more stories. We're coming up on a break, so let's hold that thought. And when we come back, I'm going to tell you some of my escapades and how I got into the radio business.
Excellent. Can't wait.
News, opinion. Your voice counts. Call toll-free 1-866-472-5787. 1-866-472-5787. VoiceAmerica.com. There's a purpose revolution sweeping the world. Now more than ever before, in the midst of so many things they could do, people are asking what they should do. Since 1991, John Stanko has been helping people all over the world answer these questions. Now, John is bringing his purpose message and philosophy to Voice America, where you will hear from people of purpose like John, who have found what they were created to do. Join John and his guests from around the world every week on his show, Your Purpose Quest, 6 a.m. Pacific, 9 a.m. Eastern. Right here on Voice America. After more than 17 years' experience teaching safety skills to thousands of women and men, crime prevention and personal safety expert Susan Bartlestone concluded that by thinking and responding quickly, ideally within 20 seconds, potentially violent criminal encounters can be prevented. Using techniques from many different disciplines and illustrated by 60 real-life examples and success stories, Susan shows how it's done in her new book, Think Fast and Prevent a Violent Crime: How to Respond to Danger in 20 Seconds or Less. Check out www.fightsafe.com FightSafe.com for more information. You'll also find information there on Susan's upcoming Crime Prevention 101 personal safety teleseminars. Think fast, talk fast, fight smart, which stress the many opportunities you have to deter or defuse a criminal encounter and how to use your brains instead of your muscles in a fight. Look for the new book information or sign up for Susan Bartlestone's personal safety seminars at www.fightsafe.com today. Have you ever thought about having your own internet talk show? Well, if you said yes, then click About Us. Then click Be a Host to get more information. Or just call Jeff Spinard at 480-294-6417.
Say that again?
480-294-6417. VoiceAmerica.com.
You're listening to Crime Prevention 101 with Susan Bartlestone. We invite you to share your stories, tips, or suggestions for topics you'd like us to cover, and Susan will address some of these on future shows. Send your story or idea to solutions@fightsafe.com. That email address again is solutions@fightsafe.com. Now back to Crime Prevention 101 with Susan Bartlestone.
And welcome back, everybody. And this is Susan Bartlestone, indeed, and I'm here with my partner in crime, Rob, today.
Hello.
Hi, Rob. And we were talking before the break about my qualifications to do the work that I was doing and to do this radio show, my crime prevention and self-defense experience, and my street experiences as well. And I was talking about in one of the incidents that happened to me. What actually happened in that incident, and I was cornered by these four guys in a car, and I had my plan, and I was getting ready to move. And what happened was they sensed that something was wrong. I wasn't the scared victim. I didn't look like a good target. And even though they really had me outnumbered in an isolated area, they pulled out. They pulled away. They left me alone.
Wow.
At which point I collapsed.
Yeah,
but
I guess the trick is even though you're scared, you have to show that you're not scared.
That is exactly right. And you know how you do that, Rob? You do that by learning how, by training.
Excellent.
That's how you do it. That's the best way to learn how to do it, okay?
So I guess you're the one I want to go to learn that.
You damn right I'm the one.
You're the one that experienced it. I want to learn from you.
Okay. And I had 4 other incidents along those lines. And as I mentioned, this is what forms the basis of the work that I do. And this is my goal has always been to help as many people as I possibly can, so that they can not be as scared of crime and lead full and unrestricted lives. And I'm passionate about this work, and I've wanted to do a show like this forever because this is the best way I know to really get the word out there to people. If you have good crime prevention knowledge and at least some physical skills, and those are so easily attainable, you can get them. There are good courses all over the place. If you've got those 2 things, you can prevent most common kinds of crime from happening to you. So anyway, Rob, enough about me, all right? I got mail. I want to talk about the questions that people ask me. Now, on one of the other shows that I did, Rob, I did talk about renter's insurance, and this would be because I was talking about burglaries and home invasions, and this is something for apartment dwellers that they might want to look into. This insurance, and are you familiar with this? Correct, right?
Yeah, it's like homeowners insurance for renters.
For renters, right? And it covers burglaries, fire, natural disasters, and guest injuries. So if you had fallen in my house the other day, I would have been covered for you.
There you go.
And this is not expensive.
It's amazing to me how many renters don't have it.
Yeah, it amazes me too, and especially from a crime prevention standpoint, this runs from $300 to $1,200, depending on, I guess, the riders and stuff.
Sure, depending on how much property they're going to cover, usually.
So this is this is really something good to look into. So I did a little bit of checking, and also for you homeowners, the Chubb Insurance Group, the Chubb Group, and I'm not affiliated with these people, but this is a good resource, and that's why I want you to have this information. Now, they have an amazing policy that I really like. It's called the Masterpiece Family Protection Policy, and it runs about $110 annually for this. And this insurance, and now it's not available, by the way, in all states, but it was available in 4 states that I know of, and they were definitely talking about expanding this nationwide. So you'd have to check with the Chubb Group in your particular state if you're interested in this. But this insurance will protect the family from financial loss if a loved one is a victim of any of the following: home invasion, stalking threats, child abduction, and carjacking. I mean, that's just amazing to me. And this isn't it? And this is what it offers. Okay, fees for medical and psychiatric services, reimbursement for lost wages, fees for professional security consultants and security guards. If you need a security guard, they will pay.
Wow.
The cost of recuperation if you're injured in any of those 4 crimes during the commission of it, improving household security and temporarily relocating your residence, and they will also provide a reward for information leading to the arrest and conviction of the responsible party. Now, that's pretty good for 100 and something. There's obviously a range, but that's still very reasonable for this kind of coverage.
That's on top of the normal coverage, for theft.
That would probably be on top of your homeowner's insurance. I'm not totally sure what insurance you have to have with them, or if it's stand alone.
Gotcha.
But
even for a rider, it's good.
That's great. Extremely good, and it's something that bears looking into. And I also found something, Cigna, which is a sort of for businesses. Cigna Corporation offers insurance that will pay up to $100,000 to kidnapping, robbery, or assault victims. And this coverage is a rider to accidental death and dismemberment policies that your employer can provide you. So this is something, especially if you work for a large company and they have a Cigna plan, this is something you can talk to your employer, or if you are an employer, this is a really good benefit to offer your employees. I think this is fantastic.
Sure.
So this is good stuff.
I mean, a lot of employees have life and disability coverage anyway, so they might as well just get the extra.
That's right. It
coverage.
might not be that much more expensive to add on a coverage against this kind of crime insurance.
Sure, probably not that much more, I'm sure.
Well, they're saying it's not. So this would be something, you guys, to check in with your employers about. Now, Rob, I got asked about identity theft. And I found a number of companies that offer identity theft programs. I'm going to just bring up 2 for you. The Travelers Insurance.
Yes. I used to work for them.
Really?
When the coverage came out, I remember they were one of the first ones that did. Well, I think they were the first ones that offered ID.
That's terrific. Well, this is good stuff here. I like this. They offer 3 different riders, I guess. Coverage A, Coverage B, and Coverage C. The Coverage A is identity fraud expense reimbursement, and this covers you for expenses including legal fees, and that's for all you attorneys out there. Any legal fees that you incur trying to restore your financial health and clear your credit history, they will cover it. There's a $100 deductible, and they will also cover reimbursement for expenses for lost wages if you have to take time off from work to clear up these identity fraud issues. They will reimburse you for notary and certified mailing costs of completing and delivering affidavits. Though if you lost a loan, if it was declined because of erroneous credit information, right? They'll pay for the loan reapplication fees.
Right.
Pay for any phone calls that you get charged for trying to straighten out the problem, and as I said, attorney fees. Anything, if you need an attorney, Travelers Policy is going to pay for that. I love that.
You probably will. If someone's getting a loan on your name, you're probably going to need an attorney to clear that up, I'm sure.
This can be quite expensive. This coverage is really something to look into. And I've heard exorbitant figures. I've heard, thousands of dollars to clear these things up.
It could be even tens of thousands. In some cases.
I've heard numerous thousands. So this is something to look into. It's very prevalent. Now coverage B is direct loss protection, and this covers anything that you can't get reimbursed on your credit cards for. Most of them are pretty good about it, but if there's anything that they won't cover, this coverage will. And then coverage C also extends coverage to safe deposit boxes, safes, anything that's in a safe, that's in a vault, or a locked receptacle on any premise, home, hotel, wherever you might be. If anything that's stolen gets used to an identity theft, you are covered for it. So this, I think, is terrific. And also Cigna, again, has an identity theft program that will help employees. And again, this is part of business insurance, so you'd have to have your employer, if you have Cigna, contact them, and they can add on that identity theft rider. And I also found something for employers. It's called Crime Employee Dishonesty Coverage. And they also return to it. They also this will offer coverage for any dishonest act, such as theft or forgery by an employee, and as well as fraudulent acts by any party that results in a loss. So if an employee diverts money into their own bank account, for example, this insurance will cover it. And this could be millions.
Or steals customers' credit card numbers and
I guess. Well, it doesn't actually mention that, but it does say any fraudulent act by, and that's a good point.
Yeah,
a couple of companies
any larceny or fraud or theft.
Okay.
All that.
All right. So if you're dealing with credit cards, then, and your employees have access to them, and any fraud occurs along those lines, this will cover your liability. Wow. That's major. And I found a couple of companies that offer this kind of thing. Hub International Limited. And these are all, hubinternational.com is their website. They offer this. There's something called TriNet, TriNet, TriNet.com. They offer employee dishonesty and crime coverage. There's something called Hilb, Rogel, and Hobbs. It's HILB, ROGAL, and Hobbs, and it's HRH.com. They offer this, and I don't know if these are local or these are international. I did a little bit of research, but you can also just go online and put dishonest employee insurance. And then I've got one last one here. NAPLIA, NAPLIA, Professional Liability Insurance, and it's NAPLIA.com. And they're also another one, fraud and embezzlement in the workplace that they cover. All right, we're running up to the break. When we come back, I want to talk about inexpensive home security devices and how to stay safe when you're walking alone at night.
Ask the experts. Call toll-free right now, 1-866-472-5787. And ask our All-Star team to answer your question. That's 1-866-472-5787.
Thank you for calling.
VoiceAmerica.com. After more than 17 years' experience teaching safety skills to thousands of women and men, crime prevention and personal safety expert Susan Bartlestone concluded that by thinking and responding quickly, ideally within 20 seconds, potentially violent criminal encounters can be prevented. Using techniques from many different disciplines and illustrated by 60 real-life examples and success stories, Susan shows how it's done in her new book, Think Fast and Prevent a Violent Crime, How to Respond to Danger in 20 Seconds or Less. Check out www.fightsafe.com for more information. You'll also find information there on Susan's upcoming Crime Prevention 101 personal safety teleseminars. Think fast, talk fast, fight smart, which stress the many opportunities you have to deter or defuse a criminal encounter and how to use your brains instead of your muscles in a fight. Look for the new book information or sign up for Susan Bartlestone's personal safety seminars at www.fightsafe.com today. Talk, talk, talk. That's all we do is talk. If you'd like to talk, call us toll-free right now at 1-866-472-5787. 1-866-472-5787.
That's it.
VoiceAmerica.com.
You're listening to Crime Prevention 101 with Susan Bartlestone. We invite you to share your stories, tips, or suggestions for topics you'd like us to cover, and Susan will address some of these on future shows. Send your story or idea to solutions@fightsafe.com. That email address again is solutions@fightsafe.com. Now back to Crime Prevention 101 with Susan Bartlestone.
Welcome back, everybody. This is Crime Prevention 101. This is Susan Bartlestone. I'm sitting here with my friend Rob, and we are talking about emails and questions that people sent to me and wanting things that you wanted to know more information about. So I did a segment earlier about alarm systems and security devices, and I talked about ADT system is one of the absolute best. And I had interviewed this professional jewel thief. He was a real pro, total pro. He had stolen something like $70 million from the homes of the really, really rich people. And he said the one alarm system that gave him pause and might make him pass a house by was this particular top-of-the-line ADT system. And somebody wrote to me, you know, I've got a small home and I can't afford that system. What else? What can I do? So I found a couple of things that I thought might be good for this person. There's something called the Dialer X wireless home security alarm system. This is for a mere $100, and it sounds an alarm. It's got a voice alert dialer that will call up to four phone numbers that let you know someone's breaking in, so I guess one of them would be the police. It's got a motion sensor. It's got 2 door and window sensors. It's got remote controls, and it's got a lamp module, which causes the lights to flash off and on when the alarm's triggered. So, Rob, somebody breaks in, they trigger this alarm, and not only does this thing go off, but now the lights start flashing off and on.
Wow.
I like that, right? I think that's good. That's a really good deterrent, and sure. I like that. And it's $100, and it's the website there is www.x10securitysystems.net. That was x10securitysystems.net, and this is the Dialer X10 wireless home security alarm system. And by the way, I'm going to say it again, I am not affiliated with them. I wish they would sponsor this show because this product sounds amazing. Got a great write-up in this magazine that I found, and I love it.
Only $100 for that, you said?
That's only $100. That's wow. At least at the time, and this is 2007. It might be slightly more than that, but it's still inexpensive. And I found something called Swan Bulldog security cameras, and these for $84 on Amazon.com. And the Swan Nighthawk wireless outdoor camera kit. It's got a video camera with night vision that connects to wirelessly to your DVD or VCR or TV. This one was $92 on Amazon.com. So you can monitor the outside of your house. You can know if somebody's out there. You can do it from your PC. You know what's going on in the home when you're not even there. You can link in there.
Ah, that's cool.
Yeah, I like that. I like that a lot. And then the top of the line here, the Swan PC Security Monitoring and Recording System, that's about $300, and you get that through TigerDirect.com. And by the way, that's a great website for electronics equipment, TigerDirect.com. And one more on this, fake security cameras. Now, security cameras, if all I need is, if it's so inexpensive, I would go for the security cameras. But for $30, you can get a fake security camera. It's inexpensive, and this is also from Amazon.com, and it's a SVAT, SVAT, ISC200 outdoor imitation security camera. But just be careful with those the fake cameras, because an amateur might be fooled by them, but a pro, they're going to spot it. So anyway, there are some really good tips for you, so inexpensive home security devices. All right, Rob, let's talk a little bit about how to protect yourself while you're walking alone at night. Now, I hate people saying don't walk alone at night or only walk with a herd of people. That's just ridiculous. Modern people, we can't do that.
Yeah,
we've got to know how to be safe when we're out there alone without having a ton of people here. So first, let me give you some tips on things you can do to really help yourself stay safe there. Okay, first of all, don't use headphones. Don't be listening to your headphones while you're walking. Don't do anything that's going to prevent you from being alert and aware. Okay? Because you're not going to be paying attention, and you're not going to hear what's going on.
Wow.
Try to walk in a well-lighted area if you can. And, I mean, if I see that a street is dark or a block is dark, I'm going to walk out in the street as close to the curb as I can, but I'm going to walk out in the street.
Sure.
Stay away from large bushes and doorways where someone could be lurking. Always stay near the curb, again. And if someone asks for directions, don't walk up to the car. All right? Just keep going.
Yeah, I'm always leery of vans, too.
That's right. That's right. Now, I got a couple of psych-outs. I love psych-outs. What if you're actually confronted by someone? You're out walking alone in the street, and you're actually confronted by somebody. And this was an article. These people had asked people what their solutions were if they were confronted. And I love some of these. This one guy said, if I'm confronted by somebody and I'm alone on the street at night, what I do is I put my hand in a position as if I'm praying, and I look up heavenward and I said, "Oh God, please don't make me have to kill again."
Nice.
Psych, right? Now that's gonna make somebody pause. I like that. I do. Another person said, always have a generous supply of the Watchtower with you. Now, the Watchtower is the magazine for the Jehovah's Witnesses, and I know in New York where I live, there are a lot of those people are on corners at shopping centers and stuff, and they're always trying to hand you this Watchtower and preach to you about Jesus, and that's what he said. I carry a supply of Watchtowers, and if some unwanted person approaches me and says, I just hand them one, and I try and recruit them for the Lord. So I like that. I think that's a great psych out. A couple of things that you might try. I like the idea of having camera phones, and they're a terrific option. And I want to read you in terms of the fight against crime. This is a great story. A 15-year-old boy, he's actually from New Jersey, from the East Coast. He snapped a picture with his camera cell phone of a man who was attempting to lure him into a car. And he also photographed the car's license plate. And the police were able to arrest the suspect right away. The suspect ran when he saw himself being photographed, and they caught him. All right?
Yeah, that's excellent.
Great weapon.
I love the videos on camera.
Yeah, yeah.
It's amazing how far the technology's come.
Yes. I mean, quick thinking coupled with high-tech aid, right, that's unbeatable. No, that's just unbeatable for crime fighting. Here's another story. And I had touched about this in my previous show last week, which was about street harassment. I touched about using these camera phones in terms of stopping street harassment. And now this is a high school girl, and she took a picture of a man who had exposed himself to her. This was at 7:30 a.m. in the rush hour on the subway platform, crowded. This guy exposed himself to her. She snapped his picture with the cell phone, and she found a policeman, showed him the picture, and they caught that guy, and they arrested him, and they put him in jail. That was the case that we talked about on last week's show. And another incident here, a woman riding the subway also was confronted by a flasher. He was sitting directly opposite her. And not only did she photograph him, but she posted his image on the Internet, and I bet she used this Hollaback site that people I interviewed last week, and that's what they do. They post pictures of these kinds of people on the Internet. So that is another possibility for you if you're out alone or wherever it is, even if you're not alone. And I want to talk about pepper spray. Pepper spray is a terrific option. We're coming up on a break, so when we come back, I think what we'll do is we'll hold that thought right now, and when we come back, we'll pick up with talking about pepper spray. So stay tuned.
Have you ever thought about having your own Internet talk show? Well, if you said yes, then click About Us. Then click Be a Host to get more information. Or just call Jeff Spinard at 480-294-6417.
Say that again?
480-294-6417. VoiceAmerica.com.
Divorce, child custody, support, and visitation, division of property, attorneys, court. Just the thought of divorce is stressful enough. Never mind the combative, destructive, and expensive process. Is there a better way? Yes, divorce mediation. On Divorce Mediation, Myths and Facts, host Philip Mulford, one of the country's top divorce mediators, will discuss this incredibly successful alternative. Formerly a practicing attorney, Philip will explore the myths and facts about a process that has kept his clients out of court and saved them thousands of dollars. If you aren't familiar with divorce mediation, or your lawyer has told you it's not appropriate for your case, this show is for you. After listening to Divorce Mediation, Myths and Facts, you'll tell anyone considering a divorce, go to mediation first. Divorce Mediation, changing the culture of divorce.
After more than 17 years' experience teaching safety skills to thousands of women and men, crime prevention and personal safety expert Susan Bartlestone concluded that by thinking and responding quickly, ideally within 20 seconds, potentially violent criminal encounters can be prevented. Using techniques from many different disciplines and illustrated by 60 real-life examples and success stories, Susan shows how it's done in her new book, Think Fast and Prevent a Violent Crime: How to Respond to Danger in 20 Seconds or Less. Check out www.fightsafe.com for more information. You'll also find information there on Susan's upcoming Crime Prevention 101 personal safety teleseminars. Think fast, talk fast, fight smart, which stress the many opportunities you have to deter or defuse a criminal encounter and how to use your brains instead of your muscles in a fight. Look for the new book information or sign up for Susan Bartlestone's personal safety seminars at www.fightsafe.com today. News, opinion. Your voice counts. Call toll-free 1-866-472-5787. 1-866-472-5787. VoiceAmerica.com.
You're listening to Crime Prevention 101 with Susan Bartlestone. We invite you to share your stories, tips, or suggestions for topics you'd like us to cover, and Susan will address some of these on future shows. Send your story or idea to solutions@fightsafe.com. That email address again is solutions@fightsafe.com. Now back to Crime Prevention 101 with Susan Bartlestone.
And hello again. Welcome back. And we're talking about things that you can do to protect yourself if you're out walking alone on the street. And previously I gave you some tips to avoid the problem. I gave you some psych outs in case you're confronted. Talked about cell phones and taking pictures of people as a deterrent and as a legal tool to catch these people. And I want to talk now about pepper spray because I really love it as a defensive option. I think it's a great thing to have, but you got to know exactly how to use it. And first of all, it is legal in all 50 states. I don't know about elsewhere in the world, but I do know that it is legal in the states, although there are different rules and regulations for its use, state by state. These things vary. So if you're going to look into this, just check with the police or with the district attorney's office so you have a good understanding of what the requirements are in your area. There are really two types of defense sprays. There's pepper spray and there's mace. They are different substances. Mace is tear gas, and pepper spray is based on red pepper rub. To me, I like pepper spray. I got sprayed with pepper spray, and I know what pepper spray does. I told you I'm licensed I'm a certified instructor in this, and I know what it does. And the effects of it will last between 20 and 45 minutes, and it can be used successfully from a distance up to 12 feet. So the further away that you spray, the better, right? Because that way it's not going to, you minimize the chance of having it come back on you.
Sure. And
pepper spray.
The idea to get in the eyes of the attacker?
Yes, exactly.
Gotcha.
You're going to go right into the eyes, and you want to also spray it on the upper part of the body so that the fumes linger.
Gotcha.
And pepper spray is, if it's going to work properly, it's going to last. It's going to take between 2 and 5 seconds to work, so it's pretty quick. And I've got a tip sheet that's on my DeerSafetySolutions.com website. I've got 10 tips for you on how to use it and what to expect from it. I'm just going to go over with one or two right now. And what I really want to make sure that I impress on people is don't develop a false sense of confidence because you're carrying this. It's not foolproof. It can work really well. It's a lifesaver, but you have to know the merits and limitations of it, and you always want to use caution and common sense with it. And there's two important points about it. Either pepper spray or tear gas spray is not going to have much effect on a person who's drunk, high, on drugs, who's behaving erratically or mentally ill, or a person who is enraged. In fact, it tends to make those persons more violent.
Wow.
So this is something, you may only have a split second to evaluate this, but understand that it may not work. You got to have a backup plan. That's the important thing. Not don't use it, but you got to be prepared for the fact that it may not work. The second important thing is that don't expect that person that you sprayed, even if it works, to drop down on the ground like a dead bug you just sprayed with some kind of bug repellent, with his feet up in the air. It's not like that. It may just slow them down. It may just weaken them. That's okay. We don't mind a weakened attacker, but don't expect the reaction that they're going to immediately double up. They may still be moving around, moving towards you, and grab you. That's why you got to know it's good to have a backup plan, what you are going to do in case the pepper spray doesn't work. And here, of course, Rob, this is where taking a good self-defense class comes in. That's your backup plan.
Absolutely, yeah. I would imagine pepper spray doesn't work too well against someone who has a gun on you either.
No. Yeah, you're going to use negotiation in that situation. You're not going to use not aggressive action when you're facing.
Too smart.
Yeah, exactly. Not too smart. If you're facing a weapon, if you're facing a gun or any kind of weapon like that, you're going to have to bide your time and look for an opening. That's the best strategy. All right. We're coming down to the wire on this. Just really quickly, couple of TV shows I want to mention. There's a new show on auto theft. It's on the A&E channel. It's called Jacked. There's a new show. There's my favorite show on the Discovery Channel. It Takes a Thief. I love that show. Please check that out.
What's the show Jacked about?
It's about the car thefts, and this is the Auto Theft Task Force, and they patrol the streets looking for stolen cars. And it's actually sponsored by Allstate, and they give nice tips about preventing car theft at the end of the show.
Excellent. That sounds interesting.
Yes. So now I know that we're moving along. I didn't get to do all that I wanted to do. I wanted to cover lights, inside and outside lights. I wanted to cover letting strangers into your home. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put my answers to those questions on my DearSafetySolutions.com website. And I want to please thank you again, all you out there, so much for emailing me with your questions and comments. Please keep them coming. DearSafetySolutions.com. There's a box on the left side of the website where you can post your comments to me. I'd like to say that to any of the survivors out there of any of the kinds of crimes that I've been talking about on the show today, please understand that what happened to you, nothing that happened to you was your fault. Even if you think that you used bad judgment in the situation and left yourself vulnerable, that is never, never, never an excuse for a crime or for violence. And it's really important that you call yourself a survivor and not a victim, and understand that with proper professional help, you can put what happened into perspective and get on with your life. For those of you that have missed any of the past shows and you'd like to catch up on some of the other topics where I talked about home invasions, and I've talked about street harassment, and I interviewed Men Can Stop Rape, and I talked with a jewel thief, this jewel thief, and he gave some great tips about protecting your home. I've talked with security specialists. If you missed any of those, go to my host page on VoiceAmerica.com website, and all the past shows are archived there. You can also go directly to my homepage. If you go to crimeprevention101.com, that's going to take you there directly. I've also on my personal website, DearSafetySolutions.com, I have show notes, resources, and safety tips from all the past shows there. And there's a whole safety tips section. Now, in that section, I've got my pepper spray tip sheet, and I've also got my camera cell phone article on how it helps you fight crime. I'm going to put the letter there about how to let people in your home safely. And I've got a letter there that someone wrote to me about lights. So please keep those cards and letters coming, emails actually. There's a number of other safety tip items that are on that box as well, and you can email me at solutions@fightsafe.com. If you do, just use the header, I'd like help with a problem. So Stay tuned next week. I've got a lot of surprises, everybody. Surprise guests, surprise topics, safety tips, and information that you're not going to want to miss. In fact, it'd be a crime not to listen. So stay tuned and stay safe.
We hope you got some useful information and inspiration this week on Crime Prevention 101. Susan Bartlestone invites you to join us again next Saturday at 11 a.m. Pacific Time and 2 p.m. Eastern Time here on Voice America. Have a great weekend and a safe weekend.